supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
All right, welcome to today's reaction. This is Working Class Rich. My name is Starsky Inspires, man. Today we're doing a reaction on that phrase, "You and I will own nothing and we will be happy," man. You know, most people, that is not on your radar, that stuff is actually out there, man. You know, so we need to get that information, man, to see if this stuff is really in play right now. You know what I'm saying? Which I believe that it is. Spoiler alert, you know, but we're talking about what is behind that phrase, "You will own nothing and be happy," man. It goes deeper than what you can think, and we just gonna scratch the surface, man. Getting into this, you know, you know what I'm saying, I ain't got all the answers. We just gonna touch on it to see, man, what are they trying to do, you know, in 6 more years, man? What are they trying to get into with this agenda, man? You know, I mean, like I said, I'm a little nervous, I'm concerned, all of that, but I want to try to get you as much information as I can from people who have reacted to it, you know. So listen, do your own research, man. You know, go into it, delve into it yourself, man. I'm just scratching the surface, man, on where did that statement come from, man, and we're going to talk about it as we get in today's reaction.
You will own nothing and you will be happy. That is a prediction made for 2030. Now, have you noticed how all of a sudden everyone's getting these PCP car deals pushed on them? So you lease a car that, you know, you don't own it, and they're trying to sort of stop people owning their own cars. They're trying to encourage you to lease them. Have you noticed how house prices over the last 20 years have got extortionate? More and more people are having to rent, they've got nothing to leave their children, and even the rents are now getting out of control and people have less money. Cost of living is extremely high, food prices have gone crazy. People have less money for holidays and to do pleasurable things, and everyone is depressed. Well, can you blame them? No, I don't. I think the UK is becoming, you know, worse and worse as time goes on. Has your life really been affected by this? Are they trying to change the way we live? Is it all a conspiracy? But do you think there's something in it? Let me know what you think in the comments, guys, because some in this...
You will own nothing and be happy. Well, that's what the capitalist class wants you to start believing. The World Economic Forum shared this video in 2016. The video summarizes an essay written by Ida Auken titled "Welcome to 2030. I own nothing, I have no privacy, and my life has never been better." The video and essay describe the ultimate conclusion of the gig and rental economy. So instead of owning a car, you rent through something like Zipcar. Instead of owning clothes, you rent through something like Nuuly. You might be wondering what the World Economic Forum even is. They're best known for their annual meeting in Switzerland called Davos, which brings together some of the most powerful and wealthy capitalists around the world.
Now listen to
Vegas. What did I tell you guys? What did I tell you? They're building entire complexes of homes just for rent. And look what they're saying. Home simplified. That's right. It's simple. You don't own shit, you'll rent every...
Bus has Wi-Fi and even USB outlets next to every seat. I mean, come on, imagine. You can charge your phone on your way home from work. That's good stuff.
Come out too loud.
You don't own anything. Like if an artist decides to pull out of Spotify, you can't listen to them, like, ever again. Not to mention, like, Xbox, their Game Pass as well. You don't own any of those. That's why I spent a small fortune on a lot of discs. I own all of these. If the internet goes out, I still have it. All on my computer, I have them all. And if the power goes out, I got backup. Streaming services, they suck. Buy DVDs. If the power goes out, I got backup. What is it, $60 for a remaster? No, I have all. I have it all. Power goes out? No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
So I'm covering the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland this week, and I want to talk about some of the criticism that this event gets every single time it happens. For context, Davos is a gathering of some of the most powerful, richest people in the world, the wealthy ones, the lawmakers, whose decisions, whether we like it or not, impact us. Once a year, except for the pandemic, they all come together in this very tiny, very expensive town in the middle of Switzerland to talk about the biggest problems of our time. So of course, climate change comes up a lot. This year, there's a lot of talk about globalization globalization, whether or not China reopening is going to allow globalization to kind of bounce back. But obviously the event gets a lot of heat because it is a lot of high net worth individuals, and it's also very hard to come to this event if you don't have a lot of money. First of all, the accommodations alone, some of them are going for up to $2,000 a night in the area, and that's just because the demand is so high for such a tiny town. It's also just really hard to get here. You have to fly into Zurich and then either take a shuttle or a train to another littler train. A lot of people end up taking their private jets to arrive here, which of course is bad for emissions and our climate. And over the course of this week, there are all of these panels and meetings that go on, and the idea is that all of these leaders are going to come together and commit to making changes at their businesses, at their various countries that are going to make our world better. Of course, the criticism is that oftentimes that can come off as lip service and not actionable and measurable results. The case for Davos that I hear about a lot from the people who are here is that these companies and lawmakers can get deals done in 1 week that it would normally take them a year's worth of meetings to get done. That's because it's one gathering place over the course of the week with some of the most powerful and richest people in the world. The one question people often have is, why does it have to be here? Why does it have to be in a location that's so hard to get to? And others say that the event is so tone deaf in their view that it shouldn't exist at all.
I think the American dream is...
Now, let me go clap back on that, man. You know, it's always interesting how they get some lady, man, you know, attractive lady to get on there and kind of talk it up. You know, it's like, okay, well, why would influential rich people that can fly jets into a place get together to talk about world issues from the perspective that they're thinking about everybody? When have those type of uber rich elite people thought about everybody and not themselves, you know? So it's like, if you're having this meeting in this place that's hard to get to, you know, not everybody can get there. It's expensive, man. They, you know, it's secluded somewhere in this small little deal, you know. It's very creepy. It's very fishy, you know what I'm saying? But let's listen, let's go.
Or what they're trying to push the American dream as is, you work all your time,
right,
to barely afford your rental, because most people are not going to be able to afford homes. They're going to have to rent. And the rents are almost just as much as what it would cost as a mortgage. So
we invest in, buy, and own the backbone of the global economy. When the water gets delivered to your house, the road you drive on, the pipeline that brings different things to your community, the telecom towers that transmit your phone, the data center, the real estate that you live in. It's what we own and build. So it's really what drives the economy, and you don't often see our name.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
You know, it's just because we're behind the scenes, but it's big. With $1 trillion of assets almost, we're behind a lot of the things of the global economy.
No one wants you to own anything, because if you own something, you stop paying, and you don't own any debt on it, and no one ever makes money. The minute you buy something and pay it off, no one makes money. You're the only one that makes money. And in this world, nobody ever wants you to pay off anything, because everyone else is making money off your...
This man right here, as you can see, he looks like some villain, some bad guy, some Sith Lord. His name is Klaus Schwab, if that's how you say his name correctly. And Klaus Schwab is actually, well, he was a German mechanical engineer and economist, and now he is the founder of the World Economic Forum, called the WEF. He once was quoted as stating, believe this, he said that the future philosophy of the world will be that everybody will eat bugs, own nothing, and be happy. Now, I heard this around a year ago, like many of you watching this video, and to be honest, I thought, nah, that's not gonna happen, impossible. People are not that dumb, no way, no way.
3 weeks later.
In other parts of the world, especially in Africa and Asia, many people eat many kinds of insects, and so maybe we just need to get used to it.
In crazy news headlines, prostitutes have been gathering in droves in Davos, Switzerland, because of the World Economic Forum annual meeting and extremely high demand for sex workers. And it gets even better. These prostitutes are charging the world's elite, the biggest CEOs, the owners of the biggest corporations, the biggest politicians, the biggest activists in the world, over $2,500 a night for sex work. And these are supposed to be the moral authorities on where we go forward from here as a better world for the future. I just have to show you, though, the best tweet that I saw about any of this from the legend Dave Rubin himself. Man, these people can't take a day off from f***ing everyone. Thought you could use it.
Bill Ackman gave a presentation, don't forget, and told these younger people that they shouldn't aspire to own homes. They should just want to rent. There's no point in wanting to own property. Nothing should send to you a louder alarm that you should aspire to own property. You have every right to live where your grandparents lived, where your mother lived. Ancestry is very important, and I feel that they are trying to wipe that. And we are somehow at a very critical point. And I don't know much. I've never looked into the conspiracies about cloud seeding and these the burning of the Malibu homes. I actually think Spencer Pratt did some really fantastic work. Like Spencer Pratt from The Hills did some fantastic work showing that this was actually a government conspiracy. That feels right to me. Like natural disasters and then buying our stuff up dirt cheap. And when I'm looking at this picture, this is all about ownership. It's like it does feel like they want to control and to own everything. Don't ignore that. Don't turn away from that. Don't think people are telling you wacky conspiracies. Our government is evil, okay? Terrible people who do terrible things are protected by our government, which means that we are being ruled by criminals who protect each other. And
you really don't own nothing in this life. This is a rented life. Ain't nobody better than nobody on this earth. You can't take it with you. All I can buy is cars and shoes, a bigger house, more cars. This is what money is. If you really break it down, there's nothing you can really do with it. You're just stacking it up to give it to somebody. Because if something happened to you, you're not taking it with you. So once I start thinking like that, the desire for me to chase in this business and compete went away.
Now, you need to understand, like, what he's saying, man. I think there's wisdom in it, man. I think there's nutrition in that, man. But when you're thinking about Agenda 2030, man, you got to watch, you know, what kind of creeps in. Now, he's talking about, man, it's no use for money, you know. You can't use it, you can't take it with you and all this stuff. So most people that will hear that will be thinking, you know, well, you know, I mean, there is no use for money. But when you got an agenda set up for these people to buy up everything and you and I to not own anything, hey, you better not be so quick to relinquish that dollar, man. You don't devalue that money yet. I mean, until you own something, because this type of content, even though I believe he was sincere, it can also be used, man, as a weapon to get people to let down their guards, man. Just throw their hands up and just say, well, you know, all of this stuff is nothing. Nothing in the hands of evil people is something. You know that, right?
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
We are right now in Davos, where basically the people who are mostly fueling the destruction of the planet, the people who are at the very core of the climate crisis, the people who are investing in fossil fuels, etc., etc. And yet somehow these are the people that we seem to rely on solving our problems, when they have proven time and time again that they are not prioritizing that. They are prioritizing self-greed, corporate greed, and short-term economic profits above people and above planet. And we seem to be listening to them rather than the people who are actually affected by the climate crisis, the people who are living on the front lines, and that kind of tells us the situation, how absurd this is. But the people who we really should be listening to are not here. Instead, we are bombarded with messages from people who are basically the people who are causing this crisis.
Have you heard of Project 2030? They said that you will own nothing and be happy. So what that means to me is that they're trying to rent everything to you. You know that Noun cars that you get? You have to pay for heated seats. You have to pay to use like your phone with the car. Like, you know, I don't know if it's AirPlay or CarPlay or whatever it's called, but you got to pay for it. You got to pay for something that's already enabled on your phone. Like, they really want everything to be subscription based. Everything. And I don't know if I'm good with that. Are you?
We have a... You know, let me just say this for this next video hit, man. They are just, I mean, dude, it takes your breath away. You know, the point I'm trying to make is, I know a few people, man, who has these electrical EV cars, right? I don't have one, man. I have the regular car, gasoline, combustible engine car. But my point in saying this, you know, like as a truck driver, I drive at night, you know, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning, and many times I will be driving by these places with these charging posts, man, and there will be people at these charging posts 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning charging their cars, man, to make it to work, man, the next day. And it's so interesting how they push so hard for these electric vehicles only to charge you a fee for something that they knew you were going to need forever, man. You know, even though you may have paid off the car, you know, you riding around, the car paid off, you don't have a car note, but technically you still do have a car note because you got to go and get it charged, man, at these charging stations and waste time, you know, in that regard, man. So it's the sneaky way that they do it is what I'm saying.
Less than 5 years to stop Agenda 2030 or humanity is cooked. This is their plan, guys. This is their plan. One world government, one world cashless currency, a one world central bank, one world military, end of all national sovereignty, end of privately owned property, end of the family unit, mandatory, you know what, universal basic income, microchipped tracking for all citizens, world social credit system. We've been warning you guys for years and years and years that this is coming. This is what they've been doing. Thousands of 5G towers, end of private transportation. They want, you know, electric cars that they can shut off. That's why they're pushing it. End of private farms, business-owned governments only, travel restrictions, and restricted land uses. The 15-minute smart cities, this has been their plan. This is why the world is in so much chaos, because these people, they want complete and total control. These are the people that print money out of thin air, that control everything, that own everything. There's a specific group of people too, and I'm pretty sure that most people know who they are. I can't say it, but you know who they are, that are doing all this stuff. They're the one that caused all these problems. They want total and complete control because they're psychopaths. We need to stop this. We got less than 5 years.
Everyone is talking about what you would lose if you refuse digital ID, but almost nobody is asking the real question. What could you gain? Because stepping away from a system that's designed to track, control, and drain you isn't losing anything. It's reclaiming everything that you forgot was already yours. Imagine a life where you are not scanned, monitored, index graded, permissioned, taxed for just breathing or penalised for existing. Imagine remembering what freedom actually feels like. If you take a moment to rethink what life could be, you'll quickly realise that there's a beautiful alternative. Self-sufficient community with real people, not digital profiles. Clean food, clean water, clean land, not process dependence. Silence from constant surveillance, nobody tracking your every move. Your labour belongs to you again, not extracted, not siphoned, not controlled. Your time becomes your own, not spent serving a system that never served you. And happiness, without permission, without fear without penalties, and true connection to others who remember what being alive feels like. Equality, because nobody has automated authority over your life, and self-authority, because you were born with it. Actual life, not just a digital enclosure dressed up as convenience. That's not giving something up, that's getting everything back. Yes, we all know that digital ID promises convenience, but the price is going to be your autonomy. The choice isn't between safety and hardship, it's between control and freedom. If you can feel something waking up inside you, then good, that means you're remembering. You get to choose a different story than the one written for you. If you want to understand exactly what digital ID really is and what stepping away truly means, then go have a look at notaperson.org for more information.
Okay, let's just talk about Switzerland for a minute, right? Like, how is it that a country is allowed to remain neutral and also all the banking happens there? And I know this, so like I know that my grandfather, who worked for a military contractor called Northrop Grumman, and he was in charge of all of the Navy airplanes in Europe. Okay. And he had Swiss bank accounts. And a lot of, like, after World War II, a lot of money ended up in Swiss bank accounts from, like, Germans that took things from Jewish people. And this is not like a Jewish Palestine rant at all, but I just don't understand Switzerland, and I don't understand the banking there, and like Davos and what happens there. And there's something nefarious or more than we know going on with Switzerland. So what do you know? And I want to figure this out.
Man, listen, that's the end, man. That's it right there. We're just scratching the surface. I think I'm going to do another part 2, another part 3, man, to really get into this Agenda 2030, because I truly believe, man, there is something coming down the pipeline. I can feel it, man, that's going to really impact us in middle class, working class. That, look, if we don't get ready, if we don't think the worst when the worst happens, man, it's gonna be like a tidal wave, man. Hey, listen, if you like this, man, subscribe, man. Thank you for hanging out with me for these 18 minutes or whatever, doing this reaction on Agenda 2030. You will own nothing and be happy. You know, we're just scratching the surface, man. Hey, listen, check out some of my other videos. You can look at this video up here at the top, man, how to beat poverty, man, because I'm always trying to encourage people, man. Listen, hurry up and get to that place you call rich or stable or whatever. Hurry up and get to that place, because it's a lot happening in the world, and you can't afford, you know, to be on the negative end of anything, man. So that's my biggest concern, you know. So hey, this is Starsky Inspires, man. This is Working Class Rich. Hey, I'll catch you next time. See ya.